Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Warhammer 40k battle report for you today at 1,000 points. Astra Militarum versus Tau Empire. We are returning to Stolt Moors. This is the final leg of the campaign. Missions have updated since our last battle report. I will have a link in the description below to a copy of those missions. In this mission, this is on Stolt Secundus again. The last of the survivors are getting ready to evacuate. So we'll have dropships landing at random on the table. The Tau will be in this half of the table. They can deploy anywhere up to the center line. And the Astra Militarum will be over here. They can deploy anywhere up to the center line. They just have to remain 18 inches away from the Tau. Infiltrate can be used as normal. Deep strike is not allowed. So we have D3 dropship tokens that will come in random sixths of the board each turn. And we can use those to disembark units, and that is how you score points to win the game. We will be back with the armies. First up, we have the Astra Militarum 1,000 point unit.
So my HQ is a company command squad in a Chimera, and my warlord trait that I rolled was Bellowing Voice, so my company commander has 18 inches of range to throw orders from. Then for my first troops section, I have an infantry platoon with 3 squads in it. And each one of those squads has an autocannon heavy weapon team. Then for my second troops choice, I have an infantry platoon. The squads are 3 squads, 2 with grenade launchers and melta-bombs, and 1 with a flamer and melta-bombs. Then for my heavy supports, I have a stock demolisher, a stock battle tank, and a standard basilisk.
Alright, so there you have the Astra Militarum effort. Next up, we have the Tau forces that will be attempting to move off-world. We have a combined arms detachment that is led by an Ethereal. He is stock, no upgrades. We have 2 10-man fire warrior teams with Devilfish. They have smart missile systems, disruption pods, sensor spines, and that should do it. I think that's it for them. For elites, we have 3 crisis suits with 6 missile pods. And then for fast attack, we have a pair of Tetras. Then for an optimized stealth cadre, we've got 2 3-man teams with fusion blasters and target locks on one guy. Burst cannons have no other upgrades. And then a ghost kill with cyclic ion raker, twin fusion, and early warning override. So you have seen the armies and you have seen the table. We will be back as we get stuck into the Maelstrom. Deployment is complete with the Tau deploying first. We have the first hammerhead, or first devilfish here with its squad. The crisis team there in the upper story of that ruin. Then we have the Tetras in the ruins back here. The Ethereal with the entire optimized stealth cadre deployed here. And he is in the devilfish with them, obviously. So that is the Tau half, and then over to the guard.
So the optimized stealth cadre kind of pushed all of my armor into one corner of the table, so all of my heavy supports, both Russes, the basilisk, are all on my far right flank, and we spread our infantry out to prevent the infiltrating stealth suits from coming in on our baseline and wreaking havoc in the backfield before we get out of here. And then anchored in the dead center of the 2 is the company commander.
Alrighty, so as of right now, Tau are going first. Guard are going to attempt to seize the initiative. And with a 1, they will not. So Tau turn 1 coming up, and we will be back following that. Tau turn 1 rolls to an end. The Tau got 3 markers, one of which came on in this quadrant. We placed it here, brought the devilfish back in, took out the Ethereal alone. He is headed to orbit now on that shuttle. We dropped the second marker in quadrant 6, which we placed here as far away from the guard as we could to keep them from destroying it till later. And then the second marker we placed here with the crisis team so that they could evac later. The shooting phase, we did declare night fight, or try to get night fight, and we did, so it is night fight this turn. The crisis team moved up to the window here and fired down the field on the Chimera. Scored 2 hits and scored 1 pin that shook it. This devilfish backed up a little, lobbed its smart missiles here, scored 4 hits, 4 wins, and killed 4 guardsmen from that squad. The optimized stealth moved up, received marker light support from the Tetras, who also killed 2 men with their burst cannons. Overheated ion raker killed a ton of dudes there, plus a fusion blaster. I think 8 guys went down total. Then this crisis team or stealth team was able to knock 2 more guys down out of that squad. This second stealth team fired here, killed 5 men, and they fell back and fell off the table. And then marker lights from here went across and knocked out 2 or 3 guys here. I think it was 3. Yeah, 3 guys there went down. They broke and ran 2 inches, but they're still in the fight there. So the tower about to make their jump moves, and then we will be back with the final result of the top of 1. Tower jump moves finish up. The ghost kill moved 2 inches and fell back slightly here. One stealth team fell back into the ruins in the center of the street. The other moved here to try to get some cover from all this shooting. The crisis team jumped down to join their buddy inside the ruin. So that is the end of Tau turn 1. We will be back with the Astra Militarum response. Astra Militarum turn 1, they get 3 objective markers. One of them is placed in quadrant 1, which he placed here in the corner. The other 2 come into quadrant 2, which he placed right here. The rest of the stuff moved up. No orders passed. Tried ignores cover on this blob and this blob, failed them both. And move attempted on this squad, and they failed it against themselves. These guys continued to run, but they were forced around this way because they couldn't get past this building with their heavy weapon team. These guys then opened fire, killed all 3 of the stealth suits. Even though he couldn't get the ignores cover, they still got their precision in, knocked all 3 of them down. Basilisk fired to the Tetras here, but they jinked, and it is night fight, so they saved on their 3 up. But they are snap firing in this coming turn. Demolisher moved up and unfortunately immobilized himself here against the ruins. The snap firing multi-laser, and the battle tank all fired on the crisis team here. Only one of the heavy bolter shells landed. The battle cannon scattered off the table, and the demolisher cannon was out of range. So no more damage there, but they did wipe out the stealth team and brought in some objectives that I'm either going to have to contest or to destroy or leave sitting for him to continue to advance to. Tau turn 2 coming up. Tau turn 2 rolls to an end. We got 1 more objective that turn, which we placed here. We've scooted them around now, but there 1 more got placed there. The crisis team decided there was too much artillery coming down. They went ahead and moved back and took the dropship that had landed back there with them. The jinking Tetras moved up and snap fired here, scored 3 hits with their, or 2 hits with their snap firing pulse rifles. Connected with 2 wounds, but he made both his cover saves. 1 marker light connected there, which the stealth team took to go to BS5. They cut into these, and the 2 devilfish did the rest of the damage. He has 1 wounded autocannon base left, but that guy did pass his morale check. The ghost kill swung his cannon to the lieutenant squad, killed all of the men, and the lieutenant broke. He's falling back here. But that was it as far as damage. So we will do jump moves and be right back. Ghost kill jumps into the ruins here, and the stealth team moves over behind the building. Astra Militarum turn 2 coming up. Astra Militarum turn 2 rolls to an end. Everything did a little bit of shuffling to move forward. He did get 1 more point, but it came down in here again. Both of these squads did regroup, however, so they're back waiting and moving forward for those objectives. These guys moved forward to try to close on this, and the artillery sat still back here to fire. It shot its round downrange. Landed on the Tetras, but it scattered back to here, so did no damage. The back Tetra did lose 1 hull point, however, from... What hit the back Tetra? I don't even remember. Heavy bolter from the demolisher. He fired around the corner there and punched 1 hole in the back Tetra. The Russ battle tank moved out here and fired his cannon down the street and killed 2 of the 3 stealth suits, but the last guy did make his morale check. So that is the end of guard turn 2 and the Tau response coming up. Tau turn 3, we achieved 3 more markers. 1 dropped here, which we placed there and pulled out the fire warrior team from inside that devilfish. A second one dropped here, which pulled out the other fire warrior team, and the third one dropped here. We decided to leave the ghost kill in play for a little while longer between him and the piranha, or the Tetras. Also, I didn't mention this guy did reach up to one of these, so he evacuated. The 2 last Tetras fired here, killed 2 men and scored 2 or 3 men scored a marker light, 2 or 3 marker light hits. Which he took, and between him and one of the devilfish, they killed off the last of this group of guardsmen. The devilfish on this flank fired here and killed the autocannon and brought 1 more guy down. And then we went ahead and made our jump move. Since we're down to just 1 jumper on the table, he jumped from the crater back here. So that is Tau turn 3 and Astra Militarum response coming up. Astra Militarum turn 3 rolls to an end. You got 1 marker or 2 marker that time? 1, and it came on here. So these guys are, or this lieutenant is going ahead and leaving with it. He did make double 1 leadership on his first check there, so all of his orders went off without a hitch this turn. This guy, him and his unit got a 3d6 run. That's the survivors of the autocannon group. They moved up and took that objective out. So those 2 units stepped through there as engine portals. These guys ran to the center to try to get a better positioning for the future turns. The rest of his stuff fired down here at the Tetras, except for the autocannon. Down here, he took ignores cover, fired up through the gap, and knocked 1 whole point out of this devilfish. The Tetras jinked and were able to make all the shots miss. They didn't even have to make their cover saves. Everything just missed them or didn't do anything to them. Both artillery plates scattered into the gap and did nothing. So another crummy shooting turn for the Astra Militarum, but some guys are getting off the table now. We will be back after Tau turn 4. Tau turn 4 rolls to an end and the Tau are able to completely evacuate, and at that point they're so far ahead the Imperial Guard are going to go ahead and call it there. We got 1 in each of the 3 quadrants across his half. First one came in here, the Ghost Kill used it to evacuate. Devilfish moved up and took that one. The second one we dropped landed here, and the Devilfish there moved up from the ruins and took it. And the Piranha, or the Tetras, I keep calling them Piranhas, moved across and took the other one. We placed this turn there. So we will have after action reviews and battle reports. After action reviews on the battle report and army lists at the blog as always. We'll have a link in the description below to that, along with a link to our Facebook page. Give us a like on Facebook. That's the best place to follow us to get our new content as it comes out. Give us a subscription here on YouTube, because that is the metric we look at to see if you guys are interested, see if we need to change anything, and always leave us comments below if there's something you'd like to see us do different. As always, thank you for spending time with us today at the Maelstrom.